Stop what you are doing, right now. Whatever was in your hands a moment ago, set it down, because what is about to reach you was not scheduled by accident. You did not find this message. This message found you. And the timing of it, the very hour you are hearing my voice, was chosen before the sun came up this morning. Something moved in heaven last night while you were sleeping. While your eyes were closed and your body was finally resting from another long day of carrying what you were never meant to carry alone, a transaction began, not on earth, not yet. It began in the realm where I sit, where every decision about your life is made before it ever touches the ground you walk on. And I'm telling you today, plainly, with no riddle and no delay, a stranger has been moved by my hand to send something into your life. Provision is already in motion. The money you have been praying about in secret is no longer a question in heaven. It is an answer waiting for its moment. So let me ask you something, and I want you to answer me honestly, the way you would only answer when no one else is listening. How many nights have you lain awake doing the math, adding the same numbers over and over, hoping they would land differently this time? How many times have you opened that account, that envelope, that bill, and felt your chest tighten before you even saw the figure? And how many times have you whispered to me, not a fancy prayer, not the kind you say in church, but the raw kind, God, I just need a little help. I can't do this much longer on my own. I heard every one of those. Not one of them was lost. Not one of them fell to the floor. Here is what you cannot see yet, but what the eyes of heaven see clearly tonight. There are angels standing around the place where you sit. The atmosphere over your home has shifted in the last several hours. A light is descending, slow, steady, deliberate, and it is settling over your roof, over the door you walk through every day, over the people sleeping under that roof who depend on you. And in the distance, the forces that have been whispering it will never come. It will never change. You will always struggle. Those forces have gone quiet because they know what I am about to reveal to you. They know the door is opening. You are standing at the edge of something. I can feel you wanting to believe it and being afraid to believe it at the same time, because hope has cost you before. I know that. But this is not hope built on nothing. This is my voice telling you that a hand you have never shaken, a face you have never seen, a person whose name you do not yet know, has been chosen to carry a blessing to you. And it has already started. Before I take you any deeper, I need you to do one thing. Plant your faith right here at the very beginning, so the enemy cannot uproot it later. Type in the comments, I received this message. And if this word is reaching you in the exact moment you needed it, if you can feel that this was sent for you and not for someone else, then subscribe to this channel right now and turn on the notification bell. Not as a small thing, as an act of faith. You are telling heaven, I am positioning myself to receive everything God wants to say to me, and I will not miss the next word he sends. Subscribe, and let us walk through this revelation together, because what I am about to show you in the next 7 chapters will change the way you see everything that has happened to you and everything that is about to. My dear son, I want to begin where your pain began, not where you think it began, not the day the bill came, not the week the hours got cut, not the month everything seemed to break at once. I want to begin in the quiet place. The place where you prayed and then assumed I had turned my face away. You remember it. It was late. The house was finally still. And you sat there with the weight of numbers pressing down on your shoulders, and you spoke to me. But you spoke to me the way a man speaks when he is almost out of belief. You did not say it with confidence. You said it with the last thread of faith you had left. God, if you're listening, I need you to do something. Because I've done everything I know how to do. And then you waited, a day, a week, a month, and nothing visible came. So you did what so many of my children do. You decided I had not heard. You decided that prayer, for you, was just words bouncing off the ceiling. You kept going to church, maybe. You kept saying grace over the food. But somewhere inside, a small door closed, and behind that door was a voice that said, "He hears other people. He just doesn't hear me. I need you to hear me now, because this is the truth that the rest of this revelation is built on. I heard you. I heard you the first time. I heard you every time. Let me show you what you could not see. The moment you whispered that prayer, it did not vanish. It rose. It was carried up and it was recorded, not on paper, but in the eternal record where nothing is ever lost and nothing is ever erased. Your words about the rent, your words about the car that you needed for work and were terrified would not start. Your words about your child needing something you could not give them. And the shame of that, the private shame, no one knew you carried. All of it was received. All of it was kept. The silence you experienced was never the silence of rejection. I want to tear that lie out of you by the root tonight. The silence was the sound of preparation. When a builder is constructing something for you, you do not hear hammering at your front door. You hear nothing, because the work is being done somewhere you cannot see until the day it is ready to be delivered. That is what the silence was. It was me, working on something for you in a place your eyes could not reach. And here is what the angels watched happen. They watched me take your prayer, that thin, trembling, almost out of faith prayer, and they watched me treat it like treasure. Because to me, a prayer prayed in desperation by someone who is exhausted and still chooses to call my name, that is not a weak prayer. That is one of the strongest things a human being can do. You did not pray because it was easy. You prayed because you had nowhere else to go. And I have never, not once in all of eternity, despised a person who came to me with nowhere else to go. So feel the relief move through you now, my son. You were not ignored. You were not overlooked. You were not the one I forgot. The delay you suffered was not a verdict on your worth. It was a season, and seasons end. Put your hand over your heart right now and declare it out loud. My prayers were heard. God did not forget me. Say it again, until it stops feeling like a hope and starts feeling like a fact. My prayers were heard. The thing you thought was me turning away was me turning toward you and beginning the work. Type in the comments, God heard my prayer. My dear daughter, now that you know your prayer was heard, I'm going to show you something about how I am answering it, and it is going to surprise you because you have been looking in the wrong direction. You have been watching your own door. You've been waiting for the change to come from the places you already know, the job, the family member, the source you could predict. And I understand why. We trust what is familiar. But I want you to lift your eyes off the door you have been staring at, because the provision I am sending you is not coming through a door you have been watching. It is coming through a person you have never met. Right now, somewhere in a city you may have never visited, in a life completely separate from yours, there is a person, and I have placed my hand on that person. They do not fully understand what is happening inside them. They only know that they have felt a pull, a prompting, a strange, persistent sense that they are supposed to give, to release something, to help someone they may not even be able to name yet. That feeling they cannot explain, that is me. That is my hand on a heart, preparing an instrument for your breakthrough. I want you to understand how I work, because this will steady you. I do not only move in the spiritual realm, I move through people. I have always moved through people. When I feed the hungry, I usually do it through hands. When I shelter the cold, I usually do it through someone who opens a door. And when I send provision to a daughter of mine who has been faithful in her struggle, I very often do it through a stranger. Because a stranger cannot take the credit, a stranger cannot hold it over you, and a stranger reminds you that the provision came from me, and not from any human relationship you had to earn. The angels see this person right now. They see the moment forming. This stranger is being positioned the way a piece is positioned on a board before the decisive move. And here is what is beautiful, my daughter. This stranger is also being blessed in the act, because when I move someone to give, I am not only answering your need, I am answering a prayer they prayed, a prayer to be used by me, to have their life mean something, to be part of a miracle. So when this provision reaches you, know this. 2 prayers are being answered at once, yours to receive, and theirs to be the hand that I used. Stop straining to figure out who it is. You will not guess it. That is the point. I have hidden the identity on purpose, so that you cannot manipulate it, cannot rush it, cannot reach for it with your own strength. All you have to do is what you are doing right now, believe and stay in position. The instrument is chosen. The hand is being prepared. The connection between that stranger's life and your life is being drawn by me, and nothing in the natural world can erase a line that I have drawn. Place your hand over your heart and declare, God is sending me help through hands I have not yet seen. I am ready to receive it. Type in the comments, I trust God's timing. My dear son, I can feel the question rising in you. It is the question that has tormented many of my children, and I'm going to answer it directly because you deserve the truth and not a comforting blur. The question is this: if you heard me, and if you already chose the person, then why did I have to suffer so long? Why did you not send it sooner? Sit with me a moment and let me show you what you have never been able to see from where you stand. The blessing was not late. I know how that sounds against everything you felt during those hard months, but it was not late. It was held. There is a difference between something being delayed and something being protected, and what happened to your provision was protection. Let me show you. There were moments, and you know the ones, when the pressure was so heavy that you would have done anything to make it stop. If the money had arrived in some of those moments, it would not have built anything. It would have been swallowed. Not because you are foolish, but because a man under that much pressure is not making decisions. He is reacting to pain. If I had sent the full provision into the middle of that storm, it would have poured through your hands like water through a cracked bowl, and a month later you would have been exactly where you started, except now with a deeper despair, because you would have believed that even God's help could not fix your life. I was not willing to let that happen to you, so I held it. I held it until the bowl could be mended. I held it until you had walked far enough through the fire to know your own strength, because you do know it now, even if you would not call it that. You survived things in the last year you did not think you could survive. That survival was not wasted. It was forging something in you. It was teaching your hands to hold without dropping, teaching your heart to receive without panic. The you that is hearing this message today is not the same you that prayed that desperate prayer months ago. That person could have received a gift. This person can receive a turning point, and there is more. Some of what would have come too early would not have come clean. There were arrangements forming around you. Strings, expectations, the kind of help that arrives looking like a blessing and reveals itself later as a chain. I closed those doors. You may have even cried over some of those closed doors, thinking I had denied you. I did not deny you. I defended you. I was clearing the path so that when the real provision came, it would come free. No hidden cost, no hook in it, no one able to say they own a piece of you because of it. This exact moment, now, is the safe moment. It is the moment when the provision can land and actually take root. When it can pay what needs to be paid and leave something standing. When it can be a foundation and not just a patch. So I need you to release the bitterness about the timing, my son. Lay it down. The waiting was not punishment. The waiting was me being a good father. refusing to hand my child something that would have hurt him in the long run, no matter how much he begged for it in the short run. Declare this now, out loud. God's timing protected me. The weight was not against me. It was for me. My dear daughter, I have shown you that your prayer was heard, that your stranger is chosen, and that the timing was my protection over you. Now I have to show you something harder. Because there is a reason this blessing felt like it was fighting to reach you. It was. There was a battle over your provision, and you have a right to know what was happening in the unseen. The moment I set this blessing in motion, the kingdom of darkness became aware of it. Understand how the enemy works. He is not creative. He cannot make anything. He can only steal, block, and lie. He cannot stop my hand. So he does not even try to attack me. He attacks you. He attacks the place where the blessing has to land, because if he can poison the ground, he thinks he can ruin the harvest. So look at what he sent against you, and you will recognize every weapon. He sent fear, that cold, gripping fear in the middle of the night that told you it would never get better, that this was just your life now, that people like you do not get rescued. That fear was not random anxiety. It was an arrow aimed at your faith, because the enemy knows that if he can make you stop expecting, you might stop being in position to receive. He sent shame. He whispered that your situation was your own fault, that you should be embarrassed, that you should hide it, that you do not deserve help. He wanted you isolated and quiet, because a daughter of mine who is drowning in shame stops praying, and he wanted your prayers to stop. He sent doubt about me. This was his sharpest weapon. He took the silence I already explained to you and he twisted it. He stood in that silence and said, "See, he doesn't care. He helps others, not you. You've been forgotten." He wanted you to close the door on me entirely, because a closed door is hard to send a blessing through. But here is what the enemy did not count on, and here is the part I want you to see clearly. The angels assigned to you did not move. When the interference came, they took the position of battle. There was a wall of fire around your home that you could not see, and every arrow of fear, every accusation of shame, every lie about my character struck that wall and fell. They did not get through to the deepest part of you. You may have felt the heat of the attack, but you were never overrun. The very fact that you are still here, still listening, still able to receive a word from me, that is the proof that the wall held. Your provision was never actually in danger. The enemy was not fighting to take the blessing. He cannot reach into my hand. He was fighting to make you unwilling or unable to receive it. And tonight, by telling you the truth, I am disarming him. Because a lie only works in the dark. Now you can see it. Now you can name it. Now, when fear comes back tonight, you will know exactly what it is and exactly who is standing between it and you. Put your hand over your heart and declare with force, "The enemy could not stop what God started. My blessing was defended. My home is surrounded by fire." Type in the comments, "This message is for me. My dear son, everything I have told you until now has been about what was the prayer that was heard, the stranger that was chosen, the timing that protected you, the battle that was won. But this chapter is different. This chapter is about now. Because while you have been sitting here listening, something has been moving. The provision is no longer only in the spiritual realm. It is crossing over. There is a moment, and it is happening in this season of your life, not in some distant year, when what I decided in heaven begins to take a shape you can actually touch. That crossing over has begun. The blessing is moving from the place you cannot see toward the place you can. So I want you to watch, not anxiously, watch with expectation, the way you watch the eastern sky when you already know the sun is coming. Because the signs are going to start, and I do not want you to explain them away. It may come as a message you were not expecting, a name on your phone you had not heard from in a long time, a conversation that takes a turn you did not plan. It may come as a door opening at the place you work, or a door opening somewhere you had stopped knocking. It may come as a person, maybe the stranger themselves, maybe someone who carries the blessing one step closer to your hand. It may be sudden. It may arrive in pieces, one confirmation after another, each one bigger than the last. But it will not be silent, and it will not be hidden. I am moving it into the open on purpose, so that you will know it was me and not coincidence. And here is what I need from you in this moment, because this is the part you control. Do not let your mind talk you out of your blessing when it arrives. The enemy's last strategy, when he cannot block a blessing, is to make you fail to recognize it. He will whisper that it is too small, or too strange, or surely meant for someone else, or surely going to fall through. Do not partner with that voice. When favor shows up, even unfamiliar favor, even uncomfortable favor, receive it. Say thank you before you even understand the full size of it. Feel the door, my son. It is not locked anymore. The bolt that has been thrown against your life for so long, the one you pushed against until your strength ran out, has been drawn back from the other side by me. You do not have to break the door down. You never could have anyway. All you have to do is be standing there, ready when it swings open. Declare it out loud right now. The door is open. Favor is finding me. I will not miss what God is sending. My son, if you have walked with me through these 5 chapters and you can feel the door moving, then do not walk the rest of this road and then disappear. Subscribe to this channel right now if you have not yet, and if you already have, share this video with someone who needs to hear that their door is opening too. When you subscribe, you are not clicking a button. You are saying to heaven, keep speaking to me. I am staying in position. I will be here for the next word. And I promise you, the next word is coming. Stay close. Stay subscribed. Let me finish what I started in you. Type in the comments, my door is open now. My dear daughter, I have to correct something you believe gently, the way a father corrects a child he loves. You think this is about money. It is not. The money is the vessel. What I am actually sending you is far larger than the amount, and I do not want you to receive the small thing and miss the great thing. Think about what the lack actually took from you. It was never just numbers. The lack took your sleep. It stood at the foot of your bed at night and would not let you rest. The lack took your peace. It sat at the dinner table with your family even when no one spoke its name. And you carried a tightness in your chest into rooms that should have been joyful. The lack took your dignity in small, private moments. The times you had to say no to someone you loved. The times you had to pretend you did not want something so no one would know you could not afford it. The lack made you feel small in a life where I created you to stand tall. So when I tell you a stranger has sent you money, hear what I am really saying. I'm saying I am sending back everything the lack stole. I am restoring your sleep. There is coming a night, but it is close, when you will lie down, and the math will not be standing at the foot of your bed. The numbers will not chase you into your dreams. You will rest the way a person rests when they know they are provided for. You have almost forgotten what that feels like. You will remember, I am restoring peace to your home. The tension that has lived in your walls, that your family felt even when they did not understand it, I am lifting it out. The atmosphere over your house is changing. Your children, the people you love, the ones who depend on you, they are going to feel the difference. They will not all know why, but the heaviness is going to lift off your home like fog burning off in the morning. I am restoring your dignity. You are going to be able to say yes again. You are going to be able to give again, and that, my daughter, is one of the deepest healings of all, because you were created to be a giver, and the lack had forced you into a corner where you could only receive. That corner is ending. I am moving you from the corner back to the center of your own life, and I am restoring your faith in me. Maybe that is the greatest restoration of all. Because every disappointment chipped away at your trust. And this clear, undeniable, came from a stranger, so it could only be God provision. This is going to rebuild the part of you that had started to wonder if I was real, if I was good, if I was paying attention. After this, you will know, not believe, know. This blessing is not a patch over a hole. It is a foundation under your feet. It is meant to hold weight. It is meant to last. Put your hand over your heart and declare, God is restoring everything the struggle took from me, my peace, my rest, my dignity, and my faith. Type in the comments, I receive my restoration. My dear son, we have come to the final word, and I have saved the most important instruction for the end, because everything I have done can still be slowed by one thing, and that one thing lives inside you. So listen to me carefully. The way a son listens to a father giving him something that matters. The blessing is sealed. I want you to hear that. It is not a maybe. It is not if your faith is strong enough. It is decided, defended, in motion, and sealed by my own hand. But there is a posture you must hold while it completes its journey to you. And the posture is this: open hands and an undoubting heart. Let me explain why this matters. A blessing cannot be poured into a closed fist, and doubt closes the fist. When you doubt, you start to grasp, you start trying to control it, predict it, force it, or you swing the other way and protect yourself from disappointment by pretending you never expected anything at all. Both of those are closed fists. I need your hands open. Open hands say, I am not going to manufacture this myself, and I am not going to guard my heart against it either. I am simply going to receive what my Father is sending. So here is your charge, and there are 3 parts to it. First, gratitude before arrival. Begin thanking me now, tonight, before you see it with your eyes. Not as a technique to twist my arm, I have already decided, but because gratitude is the open hand. Gratitude keeps your heart soft and ready. Thank me for the prayer that was heard. Thank me for the stranger being prepared. Thank me for the door already drawn back. Second, do not despise the form it takes. I told you it may come through an unexpected person, in an unexpected way, perhaps in stages. Do not stand there waiting for it to look like the picture in your head and miss the real thing standing in front of you. Receive it in whatever shape I send it. Third, do not let one more night of doubt undo months of my work. The enemy gets one more attempt, and it will come as a thought. This isn't really going to happen. When that thought comes, and it will, you answer it out loud. You say, God has spoken, and I received it. That is all. You do not have to win an argument. You just have to refuse to close your hand. My son, look at how far I have brought you in this single message. You came in wondering if I had even heard you. Now you know your prayer was treasured, your stranger is chosen, your timing was my protection, your blessing was defended in battle, your door is open, and your restoration is far bigger than money. You did not stumble onto this, I sent it to you, and I do not send messages like this to people whose stories are over. I send them to people whose breakthrough is at the door, so receive it. Out loud. With your hand over your heart, declare the final word. My hands are open, my heart does not doubt. I receive what God has sent, and I thank Him before I see it. It is sealed, my son. Now walk in the peace of someone who knows their Father has already moved. My dear son, my dear daughter, before you go, hear the heart of your Father one last time. If this message found you in the exact moment you needed it, do not let this be the last time we speak. Subscribe to this channel right now and turn on the notification bell. Make it an act of faith, your way of telling heaven you are staying in position for every word I still want to send you. Like this video, so it is carried to another one of my children who is lying awake tonight doing the math, who needs to hear that a stranger has been moved on their behalf. Share it with the family and the friends you love. Someone in your life is one message away from hope, and you could be the hand that delivers it. And watch the next video appearing on your screen right now, because I'm not finished speaking to you, and what comes next is part of the same path I'm walking you down. My child, look at the road we just walked together. You arrived believing you had been forgotten. You are leaving knowing every prayer was heard and kept. You arrived watching the wrong door. You are leaving with your eyes lifted, knowing a stranger has already been chosen and moved by my hand. You arrived bitter about the wait. You are leaving understanding it was my protection over you. You arrived feeling defeated by an unseen pressure. You are leaving knowing the battle over your provision was already won, and the wall of fire around your home held. You arrived hoping. You are leaving knowing the transaction that began in heaven while you slept is no longer a distant thing. It has crossed over. It is moving toward your hands in this season, and the door that was bolted against your life for so long has been drawn back from the other side. The provision is sealed. The restoration, your sleep, your peace, your dignity, your faith, is already being released over your home. So do not go back to the old fear tonight. That chapter is closed. Lie down as a son, as a daughter, who has heard their father's voice and believed it. Keep your hands open. Keep your heart soft. Speak your thanks before you see it, and watch, because what I have spoken does not return empty. It is already on the way. Receive it. My child, look at the road we just walked together. You arrived believing you had been forgotten. You are leaving knowing every prayer was heard and kept. You arrived watching the wrong door. You are leaving with your eyes lifted, knowing a stranger has already been chosen and moved by my hand. You arrived bitter about the wait. You are leaving understanding it was my protection over you. You arrived feeling defeated by an unseen pressure. You are leaving knowing the battle over your provision was already won, and the wall of fire around your home held. You arrived hoping. You are leaving knowing. The transaction that began in heaven while you slept is no longer a distant thing. It has crossed over. It is moving toward your hands in this season, and the door that was bolted against your life for so long has been drawn back from the other side. The provision is sealed. The restoration, your sleep, your peace, your dignity, your faith, is already being released over your home. So do not go back to the old fear tonight. That chapter is closed. Lie down as a son, as a daughter, who has heard their father's voice and believed it. Keep your hands open. Keep your heart soft. Speak your thanks before you see it, and watch, because what I have spoken does not return empty. It is already on the way. Receive it. My child, look at the road we just walked together. You arrived believing you had been forgotten. You are leaving knowing every prayer was heard and kept. You arrived watching the wrong door. You are leaving with your eyes lifted, knowing a stranger has already been chosen and moved by my hand. You arrived bitter about the wait. You are leaving understanding it was my protection over you. You arrived feeling defeated by an unseen pressure. You are leaving knowing the battle over your provision was already won, and the wall of fire around your home held. You arrived hoping. You are leaving knowing. The transaction that began in heaven while you slept is no longer a distant thing. It has crossed over. It is moving toward your hands in this season, and the door that was bolted against your life for so long has been drawn back from the other side. The provision is sealed. The restoration, your sleep, your peace, your dignity, your faith, is already being released over your home. So do not go back to the old fear tonight. That chapter is closed. Lie down as a son, as a daughter, who has heard their father's voice and believed it. Keep your hands open, keep your heart soft, speak your thanks before you see it, and watch, because what I have spoken does not return empty. It is already on the way. Receive it. My child, look at the road we just walked together. You arrived believing you had been forgotten. You are leaving knowing every prayer was heard and kept. You arrived watching the wrong door. You are leaving with your eyes lifted, knowing a stranger has already been chosen and moved by my hand. You arrived bitter about the wait. You are leaving understanding it was my protection over you. You arrived feeling defeated by an unseen pressure. You are leaving knowing the battle over your provision was already won, and the wall of fire around your home held. You arrived hoping. You are leaving knowing. The transaction that began in heaven while you slept is no longer a distant thing. It has crossed over. It is moving toward your hands in this season, and the door that was bolted against your life for so long has been drawn back from the other side. The provision is sealed. The restoration, your sleep, your peace, your dignity, your faith, is already being released over your home. So do not go back to the old fear tonight. That chapter is closed. Lie down as a son, as a daughter, who has heard their father's voice and believed it. Keep your hands open. Keep your heart soft. Speak your thanks before you see it. And watch, because what I have spoken does not return empty. It is already on the way. Receive it. My child, look at the road we just walked together. You arrived believing you had been forgotten. You are leaving knowing every prayer was heard and kept. You arrived watching the wrong door. You are leaving with your eyes lifted, knowing a stranger has already been chosen and moved by my hand. You arrived bitter about the wait. You are leaving understanding it was my protection over you. You arrived feeling defeated by an unseen pressure. You are leaving knowing the battle over your provision was already won, and the wall of fire around your home held. You arrived hoping. You are leaving knowing. The transaction that began in heaven while you slept is no longer a distant thing. It has crossed over. It is moving toward your hands in this season, and the door that was bolted against your life for so long has been drawn back from the other side. The provision is sealed. The restoration, your sleep, your peace, your dignity, your faith, is already being released over your home. So do not go back to the old fear tonight. That chapter is closed. Lie down as a son, as a daughter, who has heard their father's voice and believed it. Keep your hands open, keep your heart soft. Speak your thanks before you see it, and watch, because what I have spoken does not return empty. It is already on the way. Receive it. My child, look at the road we just walked together. You arrived believing you had been forgotten. You are leaving, knowing every prayer was heard and kept. You arrived watching the wrong door. You are leaving with your eyes lifted, knowing a stranger has already been chosen and moved by my hand. You arrived bitter about the wait. You are leaving, understanding it was my protection over you. You arrived feeling defeated by an unseen pressure. You are leaving, knowing the battle over your provision was already won, and the wall of fire around your home held. You arrived hoping. You are leaving knowing. The transaction that began in heaven while you slept is no longer a distant thing. It has crossed over. It is moving toward your hands in this season, and the door that was bolted against your life for so long has been drawn back from the other side. The provision is sealed. The restoration, your sleep, your peace, your dignity, your faith, is already being released over your home. So do not go back to the old fear tonight. That chapter is closed. Lie down as a son, as a daughter, who has heard their father's voice and believed it. Keep your hands open. Keep your heart soft. Speak your thanks before you see it. And watch, because what I have spoken does not return empty. It is already on the way. Receive it.